Hello all, welcome back to another interesting episode under the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav story series from Mommy Show Musings. Today, instead of taking you to one particular king or queen, I'm going to take you to the mystical land of India. Surprise, isn't it? Yes, though this is a very small, one of the small states in India, it's surrounded by with so much of myths, mystery, and greenery. Come, my dear friends, let us go to Nagaland. Nagaland is one of the smallest states in the northeastern part of India, which belongs to the seven states of northeastern India. All the seven states in northeastern India are called seven sisters, isn't it? So, before I talk about Nagaland and the legends associated with Nagaland, we need to understand its demography first before we talk about the people why they became legends of Nagaland, isn't it? So, for those who haven't really remember the geography which we have studied in our sciences during the school days, or for the kids who are yet to read about the Indian geography, Nagaland as I already told you, Nagaland is belongs to the northeastern part of India, and it's surrounded by Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur from Indian territory, and major part of the border for Nagaland lies with Myanmar, that is the current Burma. Okay, and this small state is inhabited by 18 different tribes. Uh, you can see the different tribes that have been mentioned here. The most famous being Angami tribe, Evo tribe, Konyak tribe, and everybody has got their own prominence. Okay, it's not that to undermine one particular tribe or other tribe. Now you might be wondering, if 18 different tribes are living in this small area, what might be the language of communication for them? Yes, my dear friends, it's an amazing fact that all these tribes speak 80 different languages. Mind blowing, isn't it? Yes. All these languages don't have their written script. Most of the languages are only they communicated in the oral way. Naga is the first official language which has been identified by the Indian government, along with our other national languages like English and Hindi. And all these 18 different tribes have different set of dress code, different set of headgear, different ornaments. But your next question might be, but like if there are so many different people living in the same locality, there might be some clashes among the tribes because of the philosophy which they follow or the traditions which these people follow. Yeah, there are certain fights that happen between these tribes, but maybe because of the area which they are living in, which is surrounded with the nature, its pristine glory and beauty. Typically, these Nagaland people are peace loving people. They are very good and innocent people, to be honest. And they are living very contented life in their region without interfering with others. Some people from Nagaland have migrated to Assam, or some people have gone to Arunachal Pradesh and Manipur areas as well. I'm not saying that. The first, influence of civilization outside the world, not only from the Indian subcontinent, came to Nagaland in the form of Britishers. And and as usual, our Britishers, when they entered Nagaland, they were very much amazed with the pristine beauty of Nagaland, the natural beauty of Nagaland. They started to make those places as their, tourist destinations, their vacation spots, and at the same time, they're trying to rob these people of their forest produce like honey, and other spices and other things. And as typical to Britishers, they started putting down these Nagaland tribes as the uncultured, uncivilized human beings who are not influenced. Agreed that they don't have education, but at the same time, they are much more cultured and much more civilized, which Britishers were not willing to accept. That's the reason why Queen Gaidinilu came into existence. She belongs to one of the tribes from Nagaland, and she's not a queen by birth or royalty by birth. She got this title. We want to know how? She started revolting against Britishers when Britishers started converting most of the Nagaland tribes into Christians. And all she wanted at that point of time was she wanted to preserve the culture and traditions of Nagaland, and she wanted to preserve their originality. She did, and that is when she started interacting with the main subcontinent of India, and she is the first person who introduced Mahatma Gandhi, Nehruji to the Nagaland people. And Britishers were kind of getting tired of her revolts and her guerrilla warfare mechanisms. So they had arrested her and put her into prison for 14 years. Even during the time when India got independent, she was in prison. Nehruji has gone and met her prior to independence and has awarded her the title called Rani. He proclaimed Gaidinilu as the strong leader of Nagaland tribes and said that you deserve the title Rani. And he started addressing her as Queen Gaidinilu. Of course, after independence, she was released by the Indian government, and then she worked very closely with Nagaland tribes in their upliftment causes. Later, as I already told you, the mountain people, right? They are living in the hilly regions. So, to safeguard themselves in their self-defense, Nagaland tribes were also they also know the guerrilla warfare, and because of their warrior skills, Britishers used them on behalf of them to fight in Paris in World War One. And in fact, World War One had become a window for these Nagaland tribes about the outside civilization and how outside people are living. Because till that point of time, they were kind of contented in their lifestyle, primitive lifestyle of, wearing the traditional dresses, doing the traditional course, doing agriculture in the traditional way. They never knew what a tall building was or how the other people outside their hilly terrain are getting educated. So the warriors who participated in World War One were amazed at the civilization and amazed at the different differences between their standard of living and the standard of living in the European countries at that point of time. So after World War One, when they came back to Nagaland, they felt that their people should also get educated, should also actually improve their standard of living. And the only way to make that happen is by providing education to all the people. And they started working on that angle. But unfortunately, World War II came and Japanese started attacking them from the eastern side. Japanese attacked India, not India, rather the Britishers on the eastern side, right? We also saw that in the Major Malla story sometime back. So what happened? The very same Nagaland warriors had become the first line of defense for Britishers. And Britishers were telling them to fight and kill Japanese guys. And at the same time, they're also saying like, if you kill one Japanese guy, you will be you will be taken into Christianity, and all that different promises they are keep giving. But whereas the Japanese were coming all the way from Japan by food, and they were tired, they were hungry, and they don't have the energy to fight, but still they were working for their country and they were trying to fight against the Britishers, whom these people were asking them to convert into our Nagaland tribe people into the Christianity. So, as per Akiko MacDonald, who is the offspring of one of the Japanese majors who fought in the warfields of Kohima, Manipur, Impal, Assam, and all those areas. She had written in her book that the Nagaland people, when inquired, didn't know how to differentiate between Britishers or Japanese. For them, everybody looks the same. But they could only see the need for hunger, need for rest in the Japanese people, which they couldn't see in Britishers at that point of time. All they wanted is to give them food, shelter, and water. You know the underlying reason why the Nagaland people were willing to extend all their friendly arm towards the enemies who are invading them? It's because they believed in the concept Atithi Devo Bhava. They felt that any person who comes to their doorstep without in need for food or water, they should be providing that. Amazing, isn't it? This concept of Atithi Devo Bhava or Vasudhaiva Kutumbam was spread across the Indian subcontinent, length and breadth, east or west. Everybody, every tribe, every clan, every kingdom in India believe these things. That is the reason why we have used this as the main theme for our story series, isn't it? Now you've heard so much about the Nagaland barriers during World War One and World War Two. You must be wondering, is there any regiment for Nagaland warriors? Yes, my dear friends. After Nagaland attained its statehood in 1963, 1970 was the time when the first Naga Regiment was formed. Though this is the youngest of all the regiments in the Indian military, they are the known as the bravest ones, along with the Gorkha Regiment. Okay, in fact, the nickname for Nagaland Regiment is Headhunters. Now, don't get into the misconceptions which Britishers had spread about Nagaland tribe people being headhunters. They told that, no, I mean, they spread the rumor that Nagaland tribals are the headhunters who can get the heads of the enemies for a supari or for the money which we will be paying. But that's not true, unfortunately, my dear friends. Nagaland tribal people have a tradition of worshipping the skull of their ancestors. They should keep the skull of their ancestors in the puja room, which shows them from where they had come to which date, to which state today. So to remember their journey, they always worship their ancestors. They also keep their skull of their enemies in the puja room to show the humility that though they might have won that war, still there are chances that there might be some mistakes in them, and there are some weaknesses in them which they need to overcome. By seeing this enemy skull, that is what they should remember. Amazing tradition, I would say. They know they ship their ancestors. They also give equal importance to their enemies. So, because of this tradition, Britishers started calling them as headhunters, and that is how the nickname of Naga Regiment came into being as headhunters. The first, the person whom I liked in Naga Regiment is Captain Nakejugu Kangaroos. Surprising. Difficult to pronounce, isn't it? Captain Nakejugu Kangaroos. In fact, because the Punjab Rifles were not able to pronounce his name as Captain Nakejugu Kangaroos, they had nicknamed him as Nimbu Saab. He had actually participated in the Kargil War from the Dras sector. The story which I wanted to share with you is, I mean, in Dras sector during the Kargil War, we all know how cold it is, right? This captain has led his regiment to attack the enemies situated in the upper ranges of the mountains, and they were all our Indian soldiers were climbing the mountains using the ropes at around 15,000 or 16,000 feet. When the temperature outside temperature is less than minus 10 degrees, the icicles were forming on his shoes, and he was not getting grip to climb up the mountain. So you know what this brave captain did, my dear friends? He has removed his shoes, thrown them down the mountain, and climbed the icy stones with barefoot. Can you keep the ice cubes which get formed in your refrigerator on the floor and stand on that for 30 seconds? I bet none of us can do that. But imagine the grit and determination which this captain had at that point of time. He had climbed up the rope all alone, asking his soldiers to wait down till he gives a signal with the rocket launcher on his shoulders. After going there, he started destroying all the enemies. He destroyed more than 75% of the Pakistani soldiers from the enemy camps, and then sent the signal down for his team to follow. By the time his team has reached, he was already taken hit by many number of bullets. He was at the urge of dying. But even before, after his team members had reached, they saw him fighting with the enemies with a small knife, which all the military people have on their belt. He had fought till his last breath, and with his supreme sacrifice, his team could capture the enemy force in the Dras sector. No wonder he's got the Paramveer Chakra award in 1999. But my dear friends, imagine the grit and determination this person showed. He is an example of the devotion which every person should have about their own motherland. What does he get? Was he doing all this for the medals? No, isn't it? So I feel I mean, there are so many stories from the Naga Regiment, but this is one story which had really touched me and made my eyes fill with tears. So that's the reason why I'm sharing this story with you. I mean, kudos to Captain Naga Kangaroos. Now, you think Nagaland is far behind in sports? No, my dear friends. You all know about Olympic Games, conducted in 1948 in London. We had seen the Gold movie released by Akshay Kumar, in which is loosely based on the story of how Indian hockey team won the gold medal in 1948 Olympics. But do you know that our football team also won the gold medal? Maybe few sports lovers or football fans might remember that, but not. I mean, I can really bet that most of the Indians doesn't know about the gold medal won by our football team in 1948. Do you want to know a little bit about that? Do you know the interesting fact, that this football team had played the matches, all the Olympic matches with barefoot? Remember, we are talking about 1948, where Indian economy is in shambles. We just got independence. At that time, we couldn't afford giving luxuries. I mean, basic amenities to our sports people. And football is not a much prominent game at that point of time. Getting qualified for Olympic football in itself was a big deal. Most of our funds were allocated only to the hockey team. Dr. Talimaran AO from the AO clan of Nagaland is the person who led this football team to Olympics. They played all the matches with barefoot. And when British media and the other European media started ridiculing their team, you know the answer what Dr. Talimaran had given? In India, we play football. Foot in the real sense, football, not the boot ball, my dear friends. Do you remember any similarity? Any similar situations? The cricket lovers can say. In 1983, in the similar way, the European media had ridiculed Kapil Dev and our cricket team, isn't it? But they went on to win the World Cup. In the similar way, Dr. Talimaran and his team had bagged the gold medal in Olympics. In fact, you can see them clipping from the newspaper also, right? From the France media. The eight of the India side did not wear boots, but this did not hamper their kicking ability, which shows their grit and determination to put their stamp in the football history, isn't it? That's all, my dear friends, for today. I mean, there's so many stories that Nagaland people can tell you if you go and meet them in person. So please start understanding more about Northeast. Northeast also matters to us. That's also a part of our country. Tomorrow, let's meet some other interesting legend from Indian history. Till then, bye bye.